Welcome back, family travelers. We are making our way through the lovely state of Vermont. Currently, we're going through a lot of hills that we didn't anticipate. This is kind of the end of our journey along the East Coast. We're making our way today through New York and Pennsylvania. We're gonna bring you along today because we had a couple things that we definitely wanted to visit along our journey home. Number one is hot dogs, because New York and hot dogs. Enough said. The other is a famous dish in the Rochester area that Nick here is particularly excited about. But we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll meet up with you when we're a little bit closer to our first stop. This lady has like an old school chocolate milk on hers. It's a bit on the windy side, but we have made it. So this place is called Heid's in Liverpool, New York. When I was researching the best place to go to get a hot dog in New York, this place came up as the best in upstate New York. So of course, we had to go to the best. And they've been around for a pretty long time. I think since 1917 they've been slinging dogs, and they've never changed their recipe in 100 years, which is absolutely crazy. So this is like tradition at its finest. I can't wait. Nick and I both got what's called a Hofmann Snappy, which is a zesty coney made from pork and veal, whereas we got the kids just the traditional Hofmann Frankfurter, which is made with beef, veal, and pork. So we'll see what the differences are and how they look. But we totally packed our dogs. We got relish on it. I think it comes with a hot pepper relish. You can pick your relish, but hot pepper for me. And onions and mustard, just the way we like it. The kids went a little bit off grid and they got ketchup, which is a no-no for Chicagoans. They're kids, so we let them get away with it. We did curbside pickup since we have the whole RV with us, so we're not actually gonna go in the store, but we're gonna probably wrangle up something in the car to eat. But if you were anywhere near the Syracuse area, because it's right around that area, highly suggest you make a stop, as hopefully these are some of the best hot dogs we've ever had. We'll find out though. Should be ready anytime.
What's that for car food?
Mine!
Yours?
Mine!
So we got a couple of different kind of hot dogs. That's a typical German Frankfurter. That one's for the kids. And that one is a snappy one from Coney, a snappy Coney. And it's got veal in it, so I'm very much excited.
The buns are kind of interesting,
right?
Huh? Oh, and they put all the little condiments on the side so you can dress your own dog.
Yes.
Let's give it a taste.
It's got that spicy mustard.
Okay, put that bad boy on.
I'm assuming it's spicy, I don't know.
It's Heid's mustard.
Heid's
so
mustard.
It's their secret sauce.
Okay.
Onion.
Oh, whatever. You can never have too much onion. And I'm going to go with red pepper. I wanted to say jardiniere, but you know, we're not in Chicago anymore. Mmm. Very snappy.
Very snappy. Is it spicy?
It's got a little heat at the end, not initially.
The dog or the condiments?
Well, the condiments. The dog is a little bit tough to... I think the snap refers to the skin. It snaps as you bite into it.
Yeah.
Now it's a coney, not to be confused with a chili dog. A lot of people call it a coney dog with the chili on it. That's a chili dog. This is coney, a dog like from Coney Island. So just so you're aware. Really good. Perfect road trip snack. Let's keep going.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah? The best you've ever had? Is it not the best you've ever had because Chicago is the best you've ever had?
No, yes.
No, yes?
Yeah.
Olivia doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, so she likes both New York and Chicago style. Earlier in the video, we said that we were going to go to not just one, but 2 local places today to eat, and the time is now upon us. We kept it a surprise, but it's time to finally unveil where we are going.
Also, you always call it Rochester. It's Rochester.
Rochester?
Yeah.
Rochester.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Rochester.
Rochester. I feel like you're just making that up. Isn't it Rochester?
It's Rochester.
Okay, you say it.
So there's this dish that's apparently world famous from Rochester. Now, I only happened to hear about it because one of like the best bosses I've ever had, his name's Mark, He is from Rochester, and all he would do is talk about this stupid dish. Like ad nauseum, always talked about how great it was. And he said it's like the best drunk food he's ever had, which drunk food is suspect at best, but I'm down for it. So we're taking a trip up to Rochester, out of our way completely, just so that way I can say, Mark, you made me go to Rochester to eat this. So, not very soon, do you guys know where we're at yet?
Let's go see what all the fuss is about.
There it is, folks. Now, Olivia,
Yeah?
before we start eating, we have to go back, and you want to hear a story? Okay. Back in 1918, a man named Alexander Tahou came to America from Greece, and he settled in Rochester. And he opened up this restaurant. Cool, huh? So they sold hot dogs, and they call them hots here. Isn't that weird? Like you call them hot dogs or hot doggies. They call them hots. Anyway, he got really famous for making hot dogs. But then in the 50s, his son, Nick, that's my name.
No, the 40s.
40s. His son Nick took over, and he called it Nick Tahou's Hots. Yeah, right? Because Nick Tahou's hot dogs. And they made this dish where they just took, like, you know, yesterday's or, you know, earlier food that was still really good, but nobody wanted, and they made these plates, and they just piled it all on.
And in the 80s, apparently a bunch of college students would come in here and order that plate with all the garbage on it, and thus became the garbage plate, according to legend, that is.
Here it is. This is what we've been waiting for. This is an official garbage plate. It's got home fries and macaroni salad, and then it's got the proteins. So it's got 2 cheeseburgers. It's got some mustard, some onion, some ground beef. It's their hot sauce.
And then that one is Libby's grilled cheese.
So this plate, the garbage plate, is a flexible one. As long as it's got the starchy base, then the protein, and then a sauce, you've got a garbage plate. That's my garbage plate. There are many like it, but this one is mine. It's what got people through the Great Depression, through World War II. This plate right here.
And now it's going to get us through the rest of our drive.
Oh, look at that, is so inspirational. Enough talking, it's time to eat. Tastes like garbage. I got it all.
The way you're supposed to eat it is to mix everything together so that you get everything all in one bite. It's also tradition to serve it with a side of bread and butter. Cheers. All right, and I like that cheese they put on top. It just kind of like, just really just ties everything all together. I could see this being drunk food. I totally could see if you.
It's got the perfect grease.
If you go to college here, you're eating this on your Friday and Saturday nights out. On the base of it, you're supposed to put a couple starches. I think the most famous ones are macaroni salad and home fries, but some people use baked beans. So I'm curious how that would taste. And then you kind of throw on any protein. I think hamburger, and look at Everett's hand. That's scary. That's very scary. We need some napkins pronto. They gave the kids pink lemonade because they looked like they wanted pink lemonade. So, you know, that Rochester hospitality. So these garbage plates apparently became so popular that others in the area wanted to replicate them in their restaurants. But one challenge there is that they trademarked the name garbage plate. So only this particular restaurant can call it the garbage plate. So other restaurants who try to do a similar thing, they just call it something different, like sloppy plates or whatever crazy name they come up with. And then some of them put like their own twist on it. So some end up being like these super upscale things. Some are very similar, just named something different. So if you do come to the area, you'll probably find these on most menus. But here at Nick Tahou's, this is the original. So if you want to come to the original, I highly recommend it because it is very delicious, as our plate shows.
And this is what pink lemonade looks like.
Pink lemonade.
Pink lemonade. And now it is time to get back in the car with our bellies full.
It's lemonade.
And we're gonna figure out where we're camping tonight because we still have no idea. So let's go find out. Whew. Well, let's just say that I'm glad we tow our toilet after a plate like that. We we canceled our Harvest Host stay for the night, so we officially have nowhere to stay. With that in mind, I looked up some state parks that are kind of like along our route back to Ohio, and we found a couple. So the thing with state parks is that a lot of them, you can't book online if you're going to be staying for just a night. Like most of them will require you to book 2 nights, or you know, you have to call, and then sometimes you can't even do it then. So what they told us was we could go to the state park, and if there are available spots, we could just park there for the night and then, you know, pay and check in, and then I guess check out at the same time the next morning. So we found a place just south of Buffalo called Evangola State Park. Now they have, I think, like a beach there and stuff. Not that we're going to be staying there for too long, but they had 3 sites when we called this morning. We're gonna cross our fingers. We're gonna just show up and hope one is still available. If one is not still available, it's time for plan B. We don't currently have a plan B.
This is kind of like flying standby. I mean, we don't know if we're getting home tonight, or are we gonna go somewhere, or what are we doing? I can't tell where the actual site is.
To add to the fun, we had like about a 10-minute gap in between rainstorms, so I think we barely made it, unless it's like totally coming down on Nick out there, but I think we made it just in time inside, and apparently we are staying at Evangola State Park for the night. It was pitch dark, so we don't even know where we're staying right now, but we do know that it comes with electrical hookups, which means AC.
Today was too much for me. I'm gonna go to bed and we'll talk in the morning.
After a very rainy night, we finally figured out what this place looks like, since it was pitch dark when we arrived last night, and turns out we're right across from a playground, which is the very first thing the kids noticed, and also the very first thing we did this morning. So we haven't really like explored too much around here, and I don't think we're gonna have too much time because we are making our final leg home, and it's about a 4-hour drive. But some things to note: that there are yurts over there that you can rent, which is super cool. There's several playgrounds around here, and supposedly it's right on the lake with a beach, Lake Erie, so pretty cool. Normally, if you were just trying to find somewhere last minute to stay, a lot of people like tend to park in a Walmart parking lot, or you know, like some sort of travel plaza or something like that. But it's kind of cool. You can still stay in a state park last minute. You just have to, it's one of those first come first serve things.
That's gonna do it for us. We are about to pull up and head back home. Get to fill in a nice chunk of our map, so thanks for following along. If you haven't caught our earlier videos, make sure you go back and watch those. But until the next adventure, see you real soon.